The rhinoceros stands as a formidable behemoth in the animal kingdom, a true colossus of the African landscape and a creature of immense proportions. Despite its imposing presence, it's not invulnerable. In the wild, confrontations with elephants and even unexpected encounters with giraffes, where the rhino ends up on the receiving end of a powerful kick, demonstrate this. In the upcoming video, we'll explore these fascinating instances and more, highlighting occasions where the rhinoceros met adversaries that challenged its might. Lions. According to statistics, hippos are considered the most dangerous animals in Africa, with most people falling victim to hippos rather than hyenas, crocodiles, or lions. In this video, a rhino enters the wrong territory and is surrounded by a whole pride of lions. Although we cannot be sure of the rhino's intentions, it is unlikely that it stopped by just to say hello. The lions did not like the intruder and started chasing it away. Despite the numerical advantage of the big cats, the rhino did everything right. It did not put its back to them, timely turned around, and maneuvered competently so that the lions couldn't do anything at all. In the end, all participants of the confrontation grew bored, and they dispersed. Hippopotamus. The hippo is another formidable giant in Africa, about the same size as rhinos, although they do not have sharp horns. However, they do have giant jaws with gruesome sharp teeth, as well as an aggressive disposition. In this video from Swaziland, more recently called Eswatini, we can see a rhino wandering into a group of hippos resting by a pond. For some reason, the rhino decided to interrupt their rest and started to approach them. It came close to one of them, as if to hint that it was time for the hippos to leave, but it's not a good idea to pounce on these giants by the pond. One of the hippos immediately opened its mouth and went on the attack, letting the rhino know that it was messing with the wrong competitors. There was no bloodshed, and the rhino quickly realized everything and walked away to a group of rhinos that were standing nearby. Elephant. Rhinos are territorial animals and will defend their territory if someone encroaches on it. The same goes for watering holes. Rhinos do not tolerate anyone interrupting their rest near water, even if it is an African bush elephant, the largest land mammal in the world. This is exactly what happened in a video taken a couple of years ago in Kruger National Park, South Africa. In the video, we see a rhino and its calf standing at the watering hole as an elephant approaches them. The mother didn't like the presence of the intruder, and she quickly went on the attack. It was a bold but foolish decision, as no matter how massive the rhino was and how sharp its horn, it was unlikely to defeat the elephant. During the confrontation, the baby rhino fell between the elephant and its mother at one point, but it quickly managed to get out and run away to a safe distance. The confrontation didn't last long. The female realized that she had made the wrong move and started running away from the elephant with her calf. Giraffe. Many people consider giraffes to be harmless and peaceful creatures, and in general, this is true. They're seldom hunted, and they're seldom pestered. However, sometimes it happens, and if it does, the giraffe is able to fight back. In this footage, we can see how the rhino started pestering the giraffe. The latter obviously just wanted to rest, but the rough rhino wouldn't let it do that and kept running up behind it. When the rhino pushed things too far and started to butt aggressively, the giraffe decided to show it who's boss here by kicking the roughneck with its hoof. The kick was very strong. You can even hear it on the original video. The kick calmed the rhino down, and the horned one decided to get away from the tall guy. Hyenas. A few years ago, a tourist named Danny Bester captured footage of a confrontation between hyenas and 3 rhinos at a watering hole. Initially, everything seemed peaceful, but the tourist stopped and decided to wait for a while. It turned out to be a wise decision, as the hyenas soon coordinated and attacked one of the rhinos. They bit it from the side of its back, making it difficult for the rhino to defend itself. Unfortunately, the rhino was in the wrong place at the wrong time that day. The hyenas chewed off the rhino's tail and continued to attack it. Other rhinos nearby didn't attempt to chase away the predators, although at times they stood behind the injured rhino as if trying to protect it. Apparently, rhinos need to develop mutual assistance. Eventually, the victim managed to escape, but the hyenas followed it. What happened next is unknown, but according to local rangers, the rhino sustained serious injuries and died soon after. African wild dogs. You can find a video on the internet of a small dog chasing a huge rhino across a sandy field. The funny thing is that the rhino runs away from it. Either it's afraid of the dog or it's just playing with the dog. It's probably just a regular friendly game, but you can't play with African wild dogs. They can get the rhinos into trouble. For example, here we see a scene at a water hole. A rhino came to the water hole to drink and rest, but then, as if by chance, a whole pack of wild dogs appeared. In fact, they didn't attack the rhino, but they clearly stressed it a lot. The giant decided to chase the dogs away and began chasing them one by one. They understood that it wasn't worthwhile to engage and ran away as if teasing the rhino. Eventually, the rhino got fed up with it all. It realized that it'd be better to get away from these stubborn creatures, and so it did. The rhino is far from the only animal that messes with the wrong opponents. Every now and then, it happens everywhere in the animal world. Let's take a look at other cases and moments too. Stay tuned to see more unusual instances of animals messing with the wrong opponents. Warthog. Up until now, the rhinos in the video have either been attacked or left with nothing to eat. In my opinion, the rhino deserves justice. These animals often defend themselves against other animals that try to mess with them, and that's exactly what happened in this video. The footage shows several animals, including the rhino and some Warthog, eating in the woods. Although Warthog are not very dangerous, they can be quite persistent. One of the Warthog gets too close to the rhino and starts to make it nervous. At first, the rhino tries to ignore the Warthog, but it eventually becomes too much. When the Warthog gets too close to the rhino's food, the rhino becomes enraged. It picks up the Warthog with its horn and throws it several meters into the air. The movement and the fall are quite violent, and I'm sure that the Warthog will stay away from rhinos from now on. Dog and leopard. A few years ago, a fascinating video was filmed in India, specifically in the state of Rajasthan. In the video, a dog was peacefully sleeping on the road and not disturbing anyone. Suddenly, it woke up and jumped up for a good reason. A leopard emerged from the bushes and ran towards it. Although the spotted cat had the advantage of its size and more advanced predatory instincts, the dog was not an easy target. It immediately started to bark shrilly. At first, the leopard spread its paws, then it stood in front of the dog for a few seconds. Realizing that the brave dog would not stop screaming, the leopard gradually began to walk away. The leopard stood by the curb for a few more seconds before walking back into the thicket. Apparently, it was shocked and understood that it was better not to mess with such a brave dog. Leopard and porcupine. Leopards, like all cats in the world, constantly rush at different objects, both moving and inanimate. This time, a porcupine was the object of the spotted cat's hunt. It's not known why, but the leopard decided that a porcupine with sharp barbs all over its body is a suitable and easy opponent. Of course, it was not. The spotted creature clearly messed with the wrong guy. As eyewitnesses say, the fight lasted about an hour and a half with interruptions. All this time, the leopard tried to subdue the thorny enemy to get dinner, but the porcupine had no intention of giving up. With each new barb sticking into the leopard's body, the big cat's ardor cooled. Eventually, the leopard conceded defeat and the opponents declared a truce. The porcupine went to celebrate its victory, and the leopard went to lick its many wounds. Gemsbok. The Gemsbok, also known as the South African oryx, is a unique type of antelope. Unlike many other antelopes, it uses its beautiful horns not only for ritual combat during the rut, but also for protection against predators. This makes it difficult for many carnivores to catch them. In one instance, a cheetah tried to attack a baby Gemsbok, but the adult Gemsbok arrived and intervened to protect the calf. It snapped at the predator and even chased it away. This incredible footage of a cheetah running away from an herbivore is amazing and shows that anything is possible in the wild. Let me know in the comments which battle surprised you the most. Thanks for watching and see you later.